that moment, that image of me in the mirror, reflected back at myself, I occasionally dream of that. It was disorienting. I was barely awake. I was half in my subconscious. I had that kind of bad breath you have in the morning. And that little moment, 1001, 1002, 1003, my heart beating, those 5 or 6 seconds startled me enough that every once in a while, maybe twice, 3 times a year, that'll come into my dreams. But that's my one and only Freddy nightmare. Questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about 2001 Maniacs when you read the script?
Well, 2001 Maniacs was a favorite. Tim Sullivan, who I'm so sorry, you guys, I apologize. There's a great nasty new comic book out of 2001 Maniacs. It should be here, and I should be handing them out for free, but I've been on the road with these other projects, so I just couldn't lug a bunch of comics with me everywhere. Because my wife has to go shopping. I have to leave her in the suitcase for her clothes. Anyway, but Tim Sullivan was an old friend, a young kid, who worked with the famous Michael DeLuca at New Line Cinema, one of the original guys that brought comics to the screen, Spawn, etc., etc. And Tim used to work and inspire Michael. And I met Tim hanging around the sets of the Nightmare movies, maybe Nightmare 3, Nightmare 4. And Tim was always a great guy. And then years later, Tim was ahead of the curve. Before there were wonderful, wonderful shows like Facts, Tim Sullivan actually had a really great magazine out for action figures. For the really original, hardcore collecting fans of action figures, when people would make fun of you. Now you can buy and sell the guys that made fun of you because your collectibles are so valuable and they're so cool, and now everybody likes it. But back then it was a pioneering collectible movement, and Tim had the magazine. So I was on the cover of that, and I knew Tim from that, and back then Tim said he was beginning to write. And he wanted to do some old grindhouse kind of films, and he wanted to do a movie about his youth. And he did and produced a movie called Detroit Rock City, which is a great little movie, Eddie Furlong. And it's a good date movie. You girls would like it too. It's really a good movie. And then after the success of that, he wrote and produced 2001 Maniacs. And I told him years ago, I will do your movie. If he was going to write a part for me. And he wrote me Mayor Buckman. And I think we're going to do another one in the spring. The script is great, and the Maniacs drive a bus outside of their little preserve in the south because the mayor, the sheriff, kicks them out because they've just been causing too much trouble. And now the Maniacs are like, they're not that powerful, but they're together. And they go on the road like the Beverly Hillbillies. And the movie's called The Beverly Hellbillies. And they wind up, like the HBO show Carnivale, with a little sideshow in the middle of the desert. And this is like America from the 1950s, before America was overdeveloped. You drive out of the city for 5 minutes, there would be nothing. And you'd be on a vacation with your dad, and you had to go pee. Your dad wouldn't let you go pee, and there'd be signs. Gas station, 30 miles ahead. Last chance for gas. See the giant buffalo. See the alien skeleton. Just 20 more miles on your right. So the Maniacs are in one of those old places, and a reality TV show finds them, and guess who it is? Paris Hilton. So instead of Freddy versus Jason, it's going to be the Maniacs versus Paris. So I think we'll be making that in late spring. So that's the Maniac gossip that I know. Questions? Yes? Oh my God, is that Sting? Oh, I'm sorry.
Are there any plans for another standalone Freddy movie, or would you be interested in doing that?
Standalone Freddy movie. Well, here's the only gossip, and a lot of you have asked me this question, but I'll tell you once more time. There's a prequel script that's supposed to be pretty good, before Nightmare on Elm Street 1. And then they talked to John McNaughton, the great director of Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. So that leads me to believe that maybe they're looking at the prequel to Nightmare on Elm Street as a docudrama style, because of John McNaughton's skills using the kind of fake documentary style. so kind of cinema verite. So my feeling is it would be kind of like an episode of Law and Order from Hell. Dead children, dismembered bodies. Who's killing the little boys and girls? Two cops, chain smoking, loose ties, eating pizza, New York, walking around. They solve the case. They go through hell. They're in the boiler room. Freddy almost gets them. Maybe one of them loses an eye, but they get Fred Krueger, the janitor. He goes to jail. He's locked in jail. Kills a couple of his people sleeping in a cell with him. Goes to trial. The next great part's the lawyers. Couple of fat pig lawyers come in, but they're real smart. They get Freddy off. Freddy's out. The monster of the villagers, Frankenstein. The parents are freaked out that Freddy got out on an illegal loophole. They go after him. End of the movie. Freddy slowly burning alive, turning into the crispy critter from hell. So, and it might be something like that. So that's one gossip that's out there. The other one is that we're going to do Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. Bruce Campbell making the world safe from sequels. They talked to Bruce. I think they talked to Sam Raimi, but Sam Raimi's got more money than Bob.